Well, welcome back to Israel. I am on the Sea of Galilee. In fact, it's early morning. You can see the sun rising behind me on the sea, and as you look out in the waters, it's just so fun to understand that this is where Jesus calmed the storm. This is where Jesus walked on the water. This is where most of the miracles happen, just on the north end of the Sea of Galilee. In Scripture that one night, when Jesus walked on the water, in Matthew chapter 14, it said immediately after they were done with that day, Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him. He had dismissed them, and then he himself went up on a mountainside, which would be up in the north part of the sea, and he went there to pray by himself. And he prayed long into the night. It says the boat had gone a considerable distance across the sea, and on the fourth watch, during the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them. This is about 3 o'clock in the morning. The first watch is 6 p.m. to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 3, and the fourth watch is 3 to 6. So early in the morning, Jesus comes down from the mountainside, he walks on the water, and he goes out to the disciples. The disciples saw him walking by the lake. They were terrified. It's a ghost, they said. They cried out in fear. But Jesus said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid." Those are words we can live by. Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid. Jesus said to them, "Take courage." Peter says, "Lord, if it's you, tell me to come out on the water." Jesus says to Peter, "Come." Then Peter got down out of the boat and he walked on the water and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and he began to sink. He cried out, "Lord, save me." How many times have you and I cried out, "Lord, save me"? Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and he caught him. "You have little faith, why do you doubt?" Now here's the whole picture of that story and the whole purpose behind that story. As you can see the sun not even coming up yet. It's 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, probably closer to 3. The guys are tired, they probably haven't slept all night, and then they see Jesus walking on the water. And Peter says, "Let me come out," and Peter has to get out of the boat. But here's the key to that. You know, sometimes you and I, we need to get out of the boat. We need to take that step and get out of the boat. But Peter took his eyes off the Lord. When we take our eyes off the Lord and we look at the situation, we fall. When Peter looked at the storm and the water and what was in the wind and what was happening around him, when he took his eyes off the Lord and looked at the circumstances, he fell. He sank. Folks, we never need to take our eyes off Jesus. And I know sometimes that's easier said than done because our flesh gets involved. So what is it going to take for you to get out of the boat? What does it mean for you to get out of the boat? You know, you may need to take an act of faith and take a step and not know what's going to happen when you land in that water. You have to trust that Jesus will be there. And if you sink, he will reach out and grab you. He will save you. You know, for some of us, it's not getting out of the boat and doing something and going forward. For some of you, it might be giving something up. It might be taking a habit and getting rid of it. It might be changing the way you think. It might be changing the way you act. That might be your step getting out of the boat. That might be your leap of faith. All I can say is I stand here by the Sea of Galilee early in the morning. It reminds me to always trust in Jesus, to always be aware that he is here, that he will save us, that he will reach out and he will grab us. When we're sinking, we need to yell, "Lord, save us." Well, I'm looking forward to another beautiful day in Israel. I will have more videos for you online. If you want to see more teachings from Israel, go to interpretingthetimes.com, interpretingthetimes, all one word, .com. Shalom.